And this is going to be part 2, 1995 Chevrolet radiator replacement. We're just buttoning everything back up. Bolted up everything on the bottom. I'm just going around making sure everything's lined up and bolted up on the top for the fan shroud. Again, knowing your power tools is a good thing. You don't want to run these down with the power tool and strip your strip something out, you know. Then again, this plastic has 160,000 miles on it. There goes the troll wrapper. He's walking down the street rapping as he's walking. It's one of my neighbors. Kind of like Aquachager has troll trains, I have troll wrappers. Let's listen to him for a little bit. He's pretty loud. I wouldn't say he's pretty good, but he's pretty loud. He sure does have fun doing it. He makes a lot of noise as he's walking. You gotta remember to hook up all your little vacuum lines to your canister. You want to make sure when you tighten all your oil lines and everything, when you put your O-rings and you tighten all your oil lines, you have to make sure that you cross-reference and make sure that you're not touching anything. Your oil line itself, like I said, the pipe itself moves. It's a swivel, and the fitting tightens into the radiator. So you can put your hose anywhere you want. It could be lying up against the top of your frame, and you tighten it down and leave it there. And what it's going to do is it's going to rub a hole. The frame is going to rub a hole in that oil line. Then it's going to cost you extra money. So that's why you want to make sure you're looking at it when you tighten those lines up. Make sure they're not rubbing up against anything. Make sure you get everything where it needs to be. Get your top radiator hose, bring it over. Slide her on there. And bring your clamp over. Put the clamp on it. 5/16. And of course, there again, this is not something you want to run like you're. Don't over tighten it. You don't want to break your clamp, nor do you want to over tighten it on your plastic radiator and break the radiator. So knowing that you have a half a throttle there that you can use is a good thing, you know. Just take it easy. You have to turn it a couple turns by hand like this. This can work just like a regular ratchet, you know. You're just using it to get beyond all that length of the clamp. You're going to make sure it's tight. You don't want it to pop off. Like so. It's only going to hold 16 pounds of pressure. It's not going to be too bad. It's a good time to check this one because we just got through doing the intake manifold. Like I said, it doesn't take a lot. Just like that. Nice and snug. Always check them when you're done working, and like I did this one. A few weeks went by and I double checked everything. Now of course I can take this clamp off down here. I don't know if I can get you down there to see it, but there's a clamp right there on that bottom hose, and this one's basically grab it and it comes right loose. You can hear all the fluid running through. There she comes. This is an extremely good sized tool to use for the big hoses. I've got for the 2-inch, and I've got for the 3-inch, and I've got 4-inch. This is a water line clamp. It allows you to do all this kind of work without draining the whole system. You just clamp it right on the hose. Keeps it from letting the fluid all come out. So we get all of our lines on, double check everything. Let's double check. It's good down there. Looks like I dropped my plugs down in there when I was working. These plugs are good to keep. Not only to plug the other radiator when you send it back if there's a core, which there isn't, but they're good to keep because if you hang on to something and you need to plug the holes in it, they're good for that. It's good for plugging holes and everything. Looks like everything's in pretty good shape. Gonna need a belt eventually, but it looks like gonna need to fill it up now. I came to the conclusion that I'm gonna waste the coolant that came out. I'm just gonna discard it. Like I said, I'm just going to discard that coolant. I was going to reuse it, changed my mind, decided, you know, I got a brand new gallon of it in there. Might as well just use brand new. I got brand new radiator, might as well. Let's put it in, check for leaks. Another thing a lot of people don't know is you can actually check for leaks now with it empty. You can put a pressure tester on there and check it, and I have no problem with that. There's a little bit of a clamp up here on the overflow hose. This does have an overflow, and this clamp is kind of tough to get. It does take a little bit of finesse. There it is. And it's for the overflow. It's not real crucial. If I see it's giving me a problem, I'll maybe put me a different little clamp on it. But that works pretty good. I'm not going to worry too much about it. Let's go over to the shop and we'll get the other can of radiator fluid. You'll see me. I am actually heading over in front of that black van to the other shop. And I'm going to get the other radiator fluid. We will top this off, pressure test it, and then we will run it. And again, you do not want to have this dump out onto the ground, and you do not want to have it dispose of it improperly. So you want to make sure you are careful when you're adding it. This is 100%, so it's best used at 50-50. Concentrate. This is 100% concentrate, so looks like we may need a little extra. Add of water. Again, I'm pretty confident that we did a good job. We're not going to have any leaks. We are going to test it though. You're going to bubble a little bit here and there, so you're going to add a gallon of water and a gallon of antifreeze. This particular truck takes about 3 gallons, so remember I had it blocked off down there, the bottom hose, so it was pretty good. Didn't leak anything from down there. I'm going to put a couple of tools up. We're going to get the pressure tester and we're going to pressure test it, and I think we're going to be good. Let it bubble a little. Don't see anything leaking. No dripping on the bottom. All the hoses look good. Everything looks pretty good. Always make your fan spin a little by hand before you start it. Make sure you're not hitting anything. Oh, that's a nice clean radiator. Put that over there for a minute. I'm going to go get the pressure tester and we'll pressure test it. Put some of these other tools up while I'm going in there to get that. I'll be right back. Here we go. This particular car, Chevy truck, you just go right on there. She just goes right down. This little spring right here pops. Make sure she's tight. Come on. Line you up about holding at 7. Let's see what it does. 15 pounds on the cap. If you look on the cap, you'll see where it tells you how much it's supposed to be holding. This one's running right between 13 and 14 right there. We're going to watch that gauge right there. See it right here in the blue. 13 and 14. And of course this cap. If you look on the top, right here in the center, you're going to see, I'm not sure if you can read that or not, but it should say like 16. These are Chevrolets right at 16. There you go. You'll see 16. That's where it tells you how much pressure your radiator should be holding. So when you pressurize it, it should run at pressure. One of the big deals with holding pressure is you want to make sure it's holding pressure so that it, in the wintertime, will warm your vehicle up so that it's at operating temperature. And another reason is, obviously you're not going to have a heater if you don't have if it doesn't build pressure, it's not going to get very hot. It's going to stay cool all the time. And it may overheat, it may boil out, you know, depending on if it's leaking. You obviously have something happening somewhere. You have a leak. It should hold pressure. It's a pressurized system. If there's air in there, it's going to boil. Water boils at 212, 214 degrees. And of course your engine runs pretty hot. And you want to hold that pressure there for probably 15, 20 minutes. You go inside and make a sandwich, come back and check it out, or you can put your tools up. Usually that's what I do, is I put my tools up while it's pressure testing. Let it sit there and we'll watch it on there. Of course we're probably not going to do the 15 minutes for you, but basically what we're going to do is I'm going to sign off. I'm going to say this is JAC Shop. I appreciate it if you like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. And it looks like we've got a pretty good radiator. It's holding pressure, and we're gonna go with that and let it sit while I'm putting on my tools. And looks like we did a pretty good job. Thank you. Doesn't like my glove.